What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Joe Chapo back in the building. Another edition of If They Only Knew. As always, we got your boy Maine Light out in the Bronx doing his thing. What up, Maine?
New York, stand up, man. We love you. We love the view. We love everybody, man.
Do you love everybody or just New York? Is what
I love everybody, man.
Right
I
there.
love everybody, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, we got another super special guest today. I really appreciate her coming on today and sharing her story. It's a wild one. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us, where you from?
Hi, my name is ROJONAH Roe Harris, and I'm from Louisiana. Loving it down here in the boot, Baton Rouge.
I still haven't been out there.
Oh, really?
I haven't been out there. I need to get out.
Come on out.
I wonder how far is that from Atlanta? Oh, she's frozen. How far is that from Atlanta?
About 6-7 hours, I think.
That's not bad at all.
Flying an hour, 45 minutes.
Ooh,
I'd say fly.
The next road trip right there. I need to get out there. Oof. But anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came up. And
so for me, I grew up down here in the South. I grew up with both of my grandparents. My mom was a person that drunk a lot. My father right now is presently a pastor, but between the both of them, our relationship was obsolete. So it really was like my mom was one that she didn't really pay too much close attention to her children. She was more of a self-centered type of person, if that makes sense. It's not that she didn't love us anymore. It's just that she didn't really have the understanding of what it was to be a nurturing mother. I have 3 siblings, 2 that are brothers and a sister. And all of us, of course, ideally wanted that American dream of having the beautiful home with the picket fence and a nice family. Everything was just so nice and sensual. I did drop out of high school when I was in 9th grade. I went through that spurt of feeling like I wasn't being loved, and I know that's unfortunate to say, but let's just call it what it is. It's just, I was going through puberty and I didn't understand my feelings. Yeah. After that shook off, I had a daughter, and that pushed me back to going back to get my education again. So I went back, I got my GED, and then I went to college. After that, I had to take on life's focus to figure out, what am I going to do? What do I want to be? I wanted to be a businesswoman, but in what aspect of a businesswoman did I want to be? Yeah. So I started researching what I wanted to do in life. And that's when I learned about taxes. So
taxes.
Learned about taxes
right now as we speak.
Yes. That's why I'm happy this show is going on right now in the middle of tax season, because I don't think people understand the logistics behind it and how serious it is when you're messing with the federal government. And that is a serious call. So
because you hear it all the time. Oh, I got the hookup. Oh, they gonna hook me up. I'm gonna get this back, man.
Yeah, and I was one of those preparers that had the hookup. I hook you up. Come on over here. Come on, bring it. I got you.
Tell us a little bit about that hookup.
Yeah, I had the hookup all right, and so I did my business fairly well for about 3 years. I did everything appropriately, if that makes sense. I didn't have no additions, no add-ons. I wanted to do everything squeaky clean. And one day, me and my friend sat down. I'm like, damn, I want some more money. What am I supposed to do? So we just try to figure out a way to try to hit that $100,000 goal, not knowing I was going to supersede $1 million. I was banking. What happened was the Fed sent an undercover to my office. Here I am. I'm rolling with the dough, riding around in the Escalades, looking all good and jazzy and, cute. Not until the people knocked on my door. When they knocked on my door, my life changed. Like, everything spiraled out of control, because to me, I felt like I was untouchable in a way. It's like, I thought because I'm making money that everything will be okay. We don't have anything to worry about. The money is really the leverage that's going to take care of this, when really it wasn't. So yeah, they sent the undercover into my office.
So it was how many years you said you was doing it consistently before they knocked?
9 years.
That's a long run. I would feel untouchable too.
Yeah, I was
After
making,
the first year, I probably like, oh man, I'm good on this.
well, honestly, I stopped calculating my earnings when I looked at one of my statements and I had like $176,000 in my account. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't even have to look no more because she's rich.
Yep.
So you
Yeah.
said you ended up ultimately with a mill, right?
Actually, I mean, not a mill. I ended up owing over $1 million. I actually owed 2.5 million. And what happened was when they seized my files and computers, I was on a investigation. Like they were investigating me, they were investigating my clients, and of course, when that pressure burst that pipe, the clients threw me all the way under the bus. Like under. Oh, I didn't tell her to put that on my return. I don't know what's going on. And who could blame them? I can't blame them because the feds at the time, undoubtedly, if they came and knocked on my door, I do the same thing. I freak the fuck out.
Can I ask? I don't mean to cut you off. Do you feel
sure.
like that was? Do you feel like that was snitching in a way? Because this is a different type of, because they know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So now police is coming to them. I'd be like, yo, look, man, I threw some extra numbers on there. I told them to, like, you understand? I'm just saying that's what I would have done.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Me too. I do think that's low cut snitching. But of course, the public wouldn't see it like that. But it is, because one minute you're rooting and parade, like, yeah, because I got your back. And it's a lot of them that said it. I got your back. I didn't tell them nothing. But when I read a discovery, that's not what I saw. When they pull out the discovery on me, they put initials. So I've been doing taxes for a long time. So I knew who my clients were. And that hurt me more than anything. Like it hurt me so bad to have to continue to read a discovery. Even when I went to court and the judge is slamming me, I just couldn't. I try to take in all the pressure of why. Wow. But now, fast forward, I go into court. The judge is yelling, screaming, and I get up to set my plea out because at the time I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to get a slap on the wrist. No biggie. My attorney is convincing me, hey, you're going to be fine. Oh, you're just going to get probation. No, the judge slammed the gavel. You stole $1.1 million from the federal government. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I know I'm done. So they sentenced me and they said 30 months in federal prison, and I about died. Because I never been to jail before, clean background, clean record. I never thought or imagined that would happen to me. So it took me some time because 2 months into waiting on this whole thing to transpire, it's like, can I run? Can I go to Mexico real quick? I'm being honest. And my attorney, she must knew what I was thinking because she called me. She said, Ms. Harris, listen, don't sit up here and act like you're going to skip going in. The most you're going to do is your 2.5 years. You're going to get out and you're going to resume back to your life. And I'm like, well, hell, easy for you to say because this is not your story and your life. We were arguing so loud in the court that the judge is looking back at us like, what the hell is going on? So it put me in a really bad position. So I turned myself in, I'm crying. I never even look up to see the sky. I cried the whole 6-hour drive to Alabama to turn myself in. And remind you, for me, I turned myself in a day early, just because it's like, let's get it over with, Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. I know.
You said at that time you had young children, right?
Yes, my baby was 1. She was 1. So going in, leaving her and looking back and just her looking at me, like it brought me all the way down because how can I explain to my baby that you're not going to see your mom for a long time? You don't even know how to talk. You just learning how to walk and say, mommy. How do I explain to my baby that I'm not coming back for a little while? Like that tore me up. And every day I thought about that in prison, it hurt even worse. Just knowing that I left my baby, going in, it was like a jungle because the minute you walk in the doors, like honestly, right now I wear a hearing aid because everything's so loud. You know, everybody's screaming, yelling, hey, come here, hey, you coming down? You know, I'm in shock because I'm like, oh my God, like, is this real? Like, am I really gonna be living here for the next 2.5 years? You know, I walk in my cell and then there's somebody who's territorial, obviously institutionalized. So she's there. I walk in and I'm top bunk. I don't know what's a bunk, what's a bunkie. You know, I'm learning this new jargon, this new language. I mean, this is like surreal. And I walk in.
I hate to cut you off. Explain
no, you're fine.
Walking in to the room, into the dorm, for the first time, just knowing everybody's staring at you, and just the whole thing in.
Walking in was difficult. It was like I couldn't breathe. Like immediately, I started having anxiety. I'm looking around. There's this triangle unit. Everything's in triangle. I'm on the second tier, I'm sorry. And, you know, women are everywhere, scattered. They're sitting at the table, watching TV with these earphones in, with MP3 players on. That's new to me. I'm like, what the hell is it? What is that? What is going on? Why can't I hear the TV? I can see it, but I can't hear. So they're doing like a little prison education guide. So somebody's coming along. Hey, how are you? What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. Well, welcome to prison. You know, this was bad. Like, and I'm standing on the wall and I'm just dying because when you first go in, there's no calling home. You don't have, even though I had money on my books that I put on my own books, I couldn't call home because you have to wait for your counselor to set the phone and do this and do that. Stuff that really pisses you off all day long. Like, why do they have to do this? Why is it taking so long? You know, and I'm scared straight. Like walking in, I'm trying to figure out what do I need to do to get the hell up out of here ASAP? What do I need? Just tell me where to go to get out of here. And I can't, you know, I can't do nothing. So
the guards just release you in there. They don't tell you anything. They don't give you even a little bit of a guideline, anything.
No, there is no guideline. The officer that I met was really nice. He was a sweetheart. And he probably was the only nice one that, you know, he was really nice. And he was like, well, you know, this your unit, you know. I was like, well, I don't want to be here. You know, he was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I said, can I just use that phone in the office so I can call home real quick? He said, no. So I'm hurt because I'm like, oh my God, like I can't, like you don't have control over nothing, you know. Then you start hearing this, Timmy the Move, Timmy the Move. And I'm just like, Timmy the Move? What's a Timmy the Move? I don't know what is going on. Seriously, it was bad.
That's crazy. They need to give you a cheat sheet or something. Like, what the hell?
I mean, you got your little prison educator walking around, showing you around. Okay, so then after that, you get adjusted to the unit. 2 weeks after that, you go in and you're sitting down learning the prison rules. They make everything sound so beautiful and amazing. Oh, I'm your counselor. I'm here if you need me. You can come and meet me in mainline. You know, it's no problem. And to the viewers, mainline is the kitchen, you know, or most people call it chow, but there where I was, it was called mainline. Then you start learning how to clean like an inmate. So you're taking your sanitary pads and you're cleaning the floor, which I thought was odd. You're taking your tampon and you're wiping out the dishes and, you know, being respectful. You're learning how to be a courtesy to other people by the flushing courtesy. So if you go in the bathroom and you defecate, you flush. You flush before that. You flush before it even hit the water. You flush. You know, it's a courtesy. So then you go through a phase of the bunkie stage. So me, when I got there, my first bunkie, she moved. She left. She went to immigration. I was at an immigration holding facility. And my next bunkie, I hated with a passion. She was nasty. She was very young, very slow and stupid to me, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And it's like, for me, being a powerful woman in a sense, I try to educate her. I'm like, listen, the prison has to offer you a GED. So while you're here, come up with a plan. Come up with a game plan and do something. But some people you cannot help. It's just in them automatically. So you can't force anything on them. While I was incarcerated. And when I became a teacher, everything transitioned for me. I started seeing that people needed a lot of assistance with their federal cases and their state cases. So I was one of the ones that sat down at the law library every day and helped study those cases in order to assist people. Now, can I tell you that I did great for federal cases? No, you know, the Fed's not gonna let you do all that nice genius work up in there, never. But the state was really good. I did a lot of state cases that was able to help people go to RDAP, to go to halfway house, and you know, just such a blessing. It hurt me because they left and I'm still there trying to still figure out the G code to get out, but it's helpful. You know, when you're seeing people, you're able to do something to help someone's day go by, just to help them with a case. So yeah.
That's such a crazy story, because I'm picturing the whole thing like, you know, you just a fish out of water there, and then having to adapt to this whole new world. Did you, even though you was adapting, did you still feel like like I don't want to say that you felt like you was better than everybody else there? Like,
I didn't feel like I was better. I knew that I had to conform to my new society. You know, it's either I still act like I'm this sophisticated person or I just blend in, you know. I did hang around people that had the same crime as me, white collar crime or something of the magnitude. I had friends that were bank robbers. I have friends there now who were hackers that I really like, you know, really decent people. I'm serious. Credit card fraud, my favorite. I'm being honest, because I learned a lot, good and bad, from these people. I learned how to protect my identity. Trust me, the people crazy. I'll tell you a story. While I was in there, I had this one bunkie. Her name was Melissa. Cool. But when she got a girlfriend, the whole thing changed. You know, she started taking care of this girl in there. She started ironing, cleaning up, stealing from the kitchen, like doing crazy stuff. So me and her got into it. I was like, listen, I don't know what the hell y'all got going on, but y'all got to get out of here. I said, every day I come up in here, y'all got the wiki up and somebody sitting out there watching the door for a pack of snacks and waiting until the guard come or until it's time for count again. And y'all just sitting here. It's not fair to me. So we argued to the end. Go tell the council, and guess what? They left us in the room together. So after that, I'm aggravated. I'm upset. She waits 2 weeks to see if we're going to fight or whatever we're going to do. But we didn't. We just stopped speaking to each other because it's not that serious. And then after that, they move us. She gets caught in another room with the girl on top of her with a dildo having sex. The guard locks them in butt ass naked and calls for everybody from East to come out and get them. And then they took them to the shoe. Wow. Crazy stories. Crazy. You know,
Wow.
a dildo, like a real dildo for real.
You had another lady. You had another young lady that came on, and she said she used to provide the dildos and the strap-ons for the ladies. She used to make them for the union.
Yeah, they have what they call the dream weavers. Yeah, they're called dream weavers up in there. They make the they do some immaculate work. Listen, they wanted me to pay for one before I left and pick it out, because you can pick. You can either pick one with balls, one without. I mean, the price just fluctuates, but you can buy it just like that. I'm being serious. I'm so honest. Like, for real, you can buy it just like this. It's like a little category. And then they show you how they crochet it. Okay, we got this one. If you want blue, you know, this one right here is going to cost, I recommend this one. I'm serious. Crazy. Another thing that a lot of people don't know is you got your black market up in there. So if you want bleach and all that, you're going to pay a surge of the price of what a regular bottle of bleach will be. Instead, it's in an Ajax bottle. You're going to pay $10 for some bleach that's already diluted, full of water. Chemical, when we clean, we use chemical. I knew somebody in facility. So I pay 50 cents a bottle just for them to bring the cleaner over. And you use it to clean your room. You're not supposed to, but you do, you know. I've had another nightmare of a bunkie. Her name, well, I won't disclose her name. But I don't know if she was depressed or what the hell was going on, but she never took showers. Like, she took a shower once a week, rode in Bentleys, like, true story. I mean, the epitome of a lifestyle. Like, my life was nothing. And she never took showers. She never brushed her teeth. Immediately after getting up, she would run downstairs and watch TV all day long. Like, I mean, we argued because it stinks in a room. You're nasty. Like if I have to wash you myself, it's bad. So that situation was horrid. She was mad at me because I talked to the counselor after me and her converse. She was like, well, I thought you were my friend. I said, I am your friend. Go clean your ass. Go take a bath. The shower right there for free. Go ahead. It was bad. It was bad. You're bunky. Me, I'm a shower orderly. Go shower. Yeah, it was crazy. It had some crazy stories and scenarios up in there.
Yeah. Imagine. Oh my God. Well, I mean, I'm sure you see the wifey thing all day, but was there gangs in there? Was there a whole other side to the like the movies? Like y'all just braid hair all day and put on makeup and
no,
like
but
nothing.
You do have your people up in there that crochet a lot. You have your people that, like one of the bunkies I had, she tattooed. I came in one day and it's blood everywhere. Like we have a whole scene, a whole murder scene going on in the room. I'm like, Maxie, what the hell is going on? You know, nobody tells me. All he says, bro, watch the door, make sure, because this is a good guard. Watch him. He's not going to come up, but just in case. I'm like, what? You know, so I mean, it's just crazy. And she convinced me. She was like, bro, get a tattoo. I'm telling you, everybody want a prison tattoo. Me, I'm squeamish. For one, I don't like blood. I don't like knowing that I don't know where you got the needles from. You know, I like being negative. No. So I didn't do it. I couldn't. I have no tattoos. I don't even want a tattoo. Being what I saw, I can't. I mean, you walk in the room and blood everywhere, and you just like, oh, bro, everything's fine. Oh, it's just Kelly. Come look at this shit. Look at this. And I'm looking like, Maxie, we going to the shoe. Like we have to go.
That's facts, yeah.
She was one of my bunkies that got caught with having meth on her. She told me, she said, Ro, listen, I'm a meth cook, not a meth head. I will sell it and I will furnish it, but I'm a meth cook. Like it was bad. Like, y'all, the stories. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Wildest charges you heard in there, like as far as meeting somebody, who do you think had the wildest charges and what were they? You don't have to say their name.
I won't, but I will tell you. The wildest charge, I have a few people that I met on Lifetime who are on Lifetime. And one took like $5 million from Dennis Rodman. It was a sting of them. She was a compulsive liar. I mean, we were cool, but she was a liar. But the most wicked charge that I've witnessed being in there was this girl. She let this guy have sex with her not newborn baby, underage one. That's probably the most heinous crime I heard. It's pretty graphic, so I'll just leave it at that.
They can walk around freely there? Like they're not getting attacked? Like that person is not getting attacked?
No, and listen, the thing is, I think that a lot of people think that, when they get to prison, they're just gonna beat their ass. Although I wanted to, and I hated them. Like true story, hated, like don't come near me. I didn't want to lose my good time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose my good time, and I knew my children were at home safe and sound, and you know, listen, it's just some disturbing stuff. Like not just that crime. I mean, I knew somebody else that murdered their daughter, their 5-year-old, because they were so in love with a man who didn't want any children that they wanted to do anything they could. There's another crime. A girl pushed her fiance off the cliff. It was a Lifetime movie. It was. It's some bad crimes. Another one, I had one that her and her son killed her husband. He was military. They killed him. They tried to cover up the body for insurance money. Well, of course, that didn't do good at all. There was a sting of 5 girls that got lured with some guy on Facebook, and he promised them $100,000 if they would have sex or do something sexual with a child. And they did it. Women. So not only are the men having heinous crimes out there, the women are just as wicked.
Yo, you know, it's funny you say that because there's rumors, I think T.I. and his wife, they saying that they was drugging up women or something, and they was like having them in the room. I think it was like either yesterday or the day before I heard it, but I ain't seen nothing more of it though.
Wow. Yeah, the women are very heinous. I mean, it's some pretty sad cases up in there of what they would do for love and for money. Like, I mean, that's.
So would you say the majority of the ladies in there was over a man?
I'm sorry?
Would you say the majority of the women that were in prison was related to a man?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because a lot of the drug crimes that came in, a lot of the women for drugs, when I did review a lot of their cases, it was, no, listen, you know, it was my boyfriend, you know, he went in and did yada, yada, yada. And I said, I'd do it, but hell, I didn't know I was going to get all this time. It's one of those scenarios. I had a bunkie that was like that. I'm bilingual, so I speak English and Spanish. A lot of my Hispanic ladies, that was their crime, drugs, smuggling. Or smuggling immigrants, you know, stuff like that. Everything was for the love of a man and to help a man out. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, boy, I tell you, that's why I tell my daughter, man. I tell
Right.
her,
Right.
Be careful. Be careful.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So
you get there and you starting to get close to the time that you get ready to go home. What was that countdown like?
it was surreal. Like everybody on the compound be like, so Ro, how much longer do you have? I'm like, girl, I got 3 months. I'm about to be out of here. You know, it was just, you know, like it was bittersweet because although me going home was like the dream, I also built up a relationship with a lot of nice, wonderful, and amazing people who honestly I still have contact with. Like if they ask me to Google something and can you send pictures of this, I do it. But that feeling of going home and know that you're going home is a feeling that I cannot explain. Like it's one of those things that, you know, you pray for. And I had lost a lot of weight. I actually had started back gaining a little weight because I knew that it was almost time for me to come home, you know, and to be able to continually remind my children, mommy's coming home on so-and-so date. And actually I was able to get released the day before my daughter's birthday. Last year. Yeah. Year.
Oh, so it's actually a year ago.
A year ago.
Yeah, cause I know your daughter's birthday, I think it was last weekend or last weekend.
Yes, her birthday was actually March 3rd.
Yeah, so that was last weekend. Cause I remember we was trying to, it was like a Thursday or something like that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And you also finished your probation right
before that.
They
didn't tell me nothing. I was like, wait, hold on. You mean to tell me I could leave? You mean I could fly out now? Yeah, I mean, it was like that day of even walking out was different because I couldn't contain myself. And when they would ride me out to go get on the bus, I still couldn't believe that I was able to see the streets, the roadway. Like, you know, the driver's talking me to death, but I'm just in my own zone, like trying to take in everything. When I made it to the bus stop, I felt a bit out of place. I went to go order some food with the money I had in my books that they gave me. And I ate my first sausage sandwich and I cried. I cried because I'm like, I can't believe that I actually have access to
those was happy.
To get my own food. And even though the drive was another harrowing 6 hours back, the essence of the time just stopped. It's like to me, it took me an hour to get home, you know, but it took 6 hours, but I daydreamt. And I just was like, you know, I can't believe this. Like, you know, just being able to walk free. And I wore regular clothes when I came home. When I left, I was gonna wear my prison attire, but I'm like, hell no, you know. I was still a little institutionalized, I won't lie. You know, I was still protective of everything when I got ready to leave out. All those books and stuff that I had, I could have left it at the prison. But I was still institutionalized, so I couldn't. It's like I wanted to keep everything like that's mine, that's mine. You know, so getting home it was just different. I'll also tell you that when I got home, I couldn't go in the stores. I don't know why, but I had this thing like my mom tried to make me go in the store and I couldn't. Like I was like, I just can't. You know, I felt like everybody was watching me. These people don't know me, but I couldn't. You know, so I still stayed in my room for a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months. I couldn't come out. Like I didn't have the drive to.
So what was it like being an inmate to back being a mom?
Well, I wanted to give my kids the world and I couldn't. However, that was my driving force. It was like I made a plan, a sound plan that I hope was going to do right and be executed appropriately. But of course, when you're back home, things change. You know, nothing is like you want. The first 3 months of me being home, me and my mom argued. I got put out, you know, like put out, like y'all got to go now. And that really hurt me a whole lot because my plan was to build up this money for a whole year. Now I am grateful for getting put out because it helped me sustain and it helped me to build up quickly. You know, it wasn't like I was still taking baby steps living by my mom. It was like, you know, you have to do this because you're living on somebody else's time. So I was able to hurry up. I'm sorry, my daughter.
It's okay. It's fine. It's all right. Hey.
I was able to go in and get me a car, get me a new place to stay, get all my furniture in like less than 3 months. You know, it was quick. It was like mom put me out. 3 weeks later, I'm in my own. I'm driving my own, you know. So things were taking a hold really quickly. Go.
It's okay. It's all right.
I was driving force. You had no choice. You had to do it. There was a little time to get it done. So hey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was a blessing.
I'm sorry. I'm texting my daughter to get Bill.
No, it's all good. It's all right. We understand.
I had to go back in and I had to kick in. My mode had to kick in quick. You know, I talked all this noise about what I was going to do while I was in prison. I'm going to get out. I'm going to do this and do that. But I didn't do anything because life had took a hold of me and it was moving so fast. I'm like, holy shit, like what, you know, what can I do? I sat down and I started doing my paralegal services. So I finished the program in prison to be a paralegal, but it wasn't an accredited certification. So I went back and redid it again through another provider. And then after that, I started working on my book, which is called Finding the Impossible Me. So while I was working, doing healthcare, I was typing my book and putting my book together, getting the pieces. I went in my folder from prison and I pulled everything out and I laid it out. I said, okay, let me go back and recapture that plan of what I said before and what I was gonna do. And I did. I finished my book called Finding the Impossible Me, which is my life as to how I found God in prison, if that makes sense. After that, while I was incarcerated, I came up with a brand called Garage Wear. Now it hasn't released yet, but I do have everything patent designed and my supplier has shipped it out to me already. So by the time the book releases on July 18th, Garage Wear will be born. So yeah.
It's right around the corner.
Yes. I'm excited.
What's up?
Yeah, definitely let us know how we can share support too. We'll share, anything we got you, you know what I mean? We'll put it out for you.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So that just shows everybody that there's hope. I mean, just because you've been to jail, just because you made a mistake, and just because you started a little step behind everybody else, it doesn't mean you can't catch up and surpass. Okay?
Right.
I mean, anything possible. You got your own brand. I mean, you like two times over.
Yes, all in a year's time. All in a year's time of being home.
Back to being a mommy, back to being the real world, dealing with the real world crap.
Yes. I made a decision that, thank you. I made a decision that when I got home, like even with past relationships, that I was going to give myself a mental break from even trying to be in a relationship because I had things that I needed to work on for myself, you know, as a woman and as a mother. So You know, I'm over the relationship thing. You know, for me, I'm about to be 40. So I don't really look at things like I used to do when I was much younger. I look at things in a different perspective and a different view because I know where I messed up at and where I went wrong at. And I know what I need to do to work on myself and what I'm looking for in finding a partner. So I let that partner find me if it's, you know, if granted the opportunity, you know. And it's just things that when I was down that I had to play episodes in my mind daily as to my forecast of my whole life. I had to sit down and I actually wrote out different things as to, you know, what you did wrong here. Like I also took responsibility, if that makes sense. I didn't necessarily always sit there and blame my clients. What I did was when I was there, I'm not gonna lie, first going in, I said, they wronged me. You know, I can't believe they did this. But at some point, you still have to sit down and take the responsibility. And nobody wants that. Nobody want to realize that you're your own monster. You created this yourself because at any given moment, I could have stopped it. I could have. I had a control and I didn't. So it started with myself first, looking in the mirror at myself and said, you know what? You did this. You did this. So, but after everything was said and done, you know, here I am today. And I like to let everybody know that it was hard. I don't want to make it seem like going to prison was something that was exciting and adventurous. It's a mental breakdown when it comes to, you know, just thinking about everything that's going on. You have people that die while you're in there. I had my grandfather pass away. One of my good friends was murdered, her and her son, you know, and you're there for a reason. And that's to sit down and just focus. Do it. Don't sit there and let prison take over you. They've already taken your time. Don't sit there and give them time back by sitting on their bed, just waiting and watching it, listening to music all day long and sitting down watching the next show. Sit down and gather yourself. Create a plan and execute it.
Exactly. Man, I love this story. I love this story. It's just because it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody, and you know, that just you got to be careful in the choices you make.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I was gonna say, you know, like normally, Maine, you know, this is his part. You want to?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she
So
dropped a
many
lot of
tools,
jewels,
yeah.
but she dropped a lot of jewels. But you know, maybe she could drop just, you know, maybe to one particular viewer. You know, so if there is that one particular viewer that's going in that realm, or you know, or just anything, you know, it got to be, you know, like what would you tell them right now?
I tell them, gather yourself. It's going to be okay. You're not going to die. You can't run away from this. This is a decision that you made, and you need to take the initiative to sit down and just mentally think. Protect your own self. Protect your feelings. You know, let go of all of that. Let go of the things that's going on the streets. If you're getting ready to self-surrender to prison, know that you're not going to die. This is not the end of the world, but you have to have a focus. You have to know what you're going to do going in. Me, I had those 2 months to think about either I'm going to make it or I'm going to break it. Who am I going to be when I go up in there? Am I going to be inmate 3716234, or am I going to be ROJONAH Harris? And I chose to be me at the end of the day. Regardless of what was going on up in there, I mind my business, but take care to nurture yourself while you're in there. Don't crack under pressure. You can do this. If I did it for 30 months, you can do it too. You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just believe in you.
That's right. That's right. There's always a light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any Instagram, any projects, anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, my Instagram is ROJONAH Harris. My Facebook is ROJONAH Ro Harris. I also, if you're looking for legal services, I'm under Harrison Associates Paralegal Firm, which is behind closed doors production. So you can look that up too. And I also have a home care agency called Mary's Home Care Angels. So, you know, look us up, hit me up, inbox me. I always have my phone on me.
So spell out your Instagram for them, just in case.
It's ROJONAH HARRIS.
Boom, there you go. So y'all reach out to her. She got it going on. You know, hook you up.
Thank you.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I would love to have you back on. We're going to do an open discussion where we're going to invite back some of our previous guests because actually real quick, even though you kind of touched on it a little bit, like a big part of the discussion we're going to have is a lot of people that we've interviewed expressed they've developed PTSD from being in prison. Do you think that is something that you came across in there or personally deal with?
I did. I went through PTSD. I was actually in group sessions during counseling, and it was mandated that when I came home that I had to see a psychiatrist. And I did. I still see them. I'm not against it. I think that the mental psyche is very important. You know, sometimes you need to have that other person that you can sit down and talk about, you know, the things that went on in there. I don't think that I shared my story, but when I went in, I was pregnant. I ended up losing my baby to something that happened with the doctor. You know, the doctor used an instrument and pushed too hard and caused me to hemorrhage. So I had to mentally release that of what happened and still do my time. So that was killing me. And the fact that I couldn't be with my family and, you know, so much that was going on really put me in like a state of shock. I even still have times now that I'm withdrawn. Like I'll stay to myself and hide from the world and just act like, you know, everything's fine. And really, I'm just going through something, you know, so, but yeah.
And this is a story that we hear a lot. I mean, a lot of people are going through this, and this is why there's a lot of people that don't even discuss it or feel like they could share it with their, you know, homeboys or, you know, their friends or family because, you know, they're trying to put up this facade or whatever. But I think if we have this open discussion, everybody, you know, comes in and tells their story and how they deal with it, maybe it'll help somebody out. So we would love to have you back.
I'd love to come back. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. You stay safe out there. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing your thing.
Thank you.
And tell the little one that came out in the background, have a good night, okay?
I sure will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. They only know.